Hi, I'm Katie McCarthy here with Adrian Davis to talk about the innov8 series by 1 Million Acts of Innovation. Adrian is the president of Whetstone Inc. And Adrian, I'd love it if you would start off by telling us why the innov8 series has really struck a nerve with executives.
And it really has. Thanks very much for having me, Katie. And it really has struck a nerve. There's been quite an uptake, subscription to the program. And I think from my travels, what I see, Katie, is leaders are trying to create value for their customers, and they realize it's not the same old game anymore. There's a real demand from customers for something different. Otherwise, they're being commoditized. And commoditization, I think, sends a chill down the spine of executives because it just wipes out the profitability of their relationships with their customers. I think innovation is their opportunity to bring something new to their customers, to bring something valuable to their customers that customers are willing to pay a premium for, and that profitability then cascades down through the organization and enables them to do things that they're not able to do right now.
So I know that really storytelling as a skill set that's often missing from executives, and that's something that's critical to to really breathe life into a company and that whole sales story. So will you say a little bit more about that? What advice do you have for executives who are interested in infusing that storytelling into their business?
Yeah, I love that word, infusing. Great job. I think, first of all, is to understand the connection between storytelling and innovation. And perhaps most executives are not thinking that innovation is really a story. And every story has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And without story, it's very difficult to articulate in a very simple, very succinct manner what your value proposition is. We can spend time in innovative projects and in a sense become seduced by the details of the innovation. But the reality is nobody really cares, right? What people care about is before and after. So do you have something of value? Can you impact my life? And I want to know before and after. So if I'm overweight now, do you have something that can help me get to my ideal weight? Or if I'm tired and feeling not quite as energetic as I should be, do you have something that can help me? People want help. And we come up with these solutions to enable people to get where they want to go, but we become focused on the solution and people don't care. What they care about is the before and after, and we can reach them through story. And I think the relationship between storytelling and innovation, as I said, is innovation really is a story. There's a before, we introduce some sort of innovation, and then there's a dramatic after. That's a story. And if we can learn how to take the essence of that story and communicate it in a very articulate, very succinct manner, we're going to inspire people. We're going to engage people. We're going to engage our people so that they want to support where we're going. But equally important, we're going to engage potential customers. We're going to engage potential investors. They're going to get it. If we spend too much time articulating the actual innovation, people tune out. But if we talk about real lives, real people, and how we can impact them, the before is the need. What is the challenge that people are facing? Why is this innovation important? If we're trying to articulate innovation in a vacuum, it really has no value. The value of innovation is the context of the need. So we start with people with real needs, and how we impact them. And that's the value of the innovation, and that's a story. If salespeople can articulate that clearly, they're going to capture the imagination of prospects who are going to think, I want some of that. What you're doing there, that would be really useful for me. And so getting everybody to really understand the power of this framework of storytelling is really critical to the lifeblood and the support of innovation.
Yeah, what you're really pointing to is that intersection between the actual business and the customer base. And I'd love it if you could tell me how companies can really co-create something with their customers. What is the process that they go through?
And I love this term, co-create. And it's a term, I'd say in the last 5 years, we've been hearing it more and more, co-creation. And what it speaks to is the fact that in the past, we did all the R&D ourselves internally. We created some product and then we presented it to the customer and hoped they would take possession of it. Now there is so much choice, there is so much product in the marketplace that customers are saturated and they really have what they need and they're not interested. But if we can understand at a very deep level, an intimate level, where this customer is going, what emerging needs they're facing, what emerging challenges they're facing, and then understand what their true goals are and partner with them to address their goals. So we used to talk about win-win. You know, let's have a win-win relationship. We need to nuance that in a way that says, I win after you win. If you're my customer, I'm devoted to your win. So I've got to understand what you're trying to accomplish. And then this concept of co-creation really begins there. If I can understand your strategic needs, and then I can bring a team together with your team and go through a process, and there is a very distinct process that we can go through, where I'm providing leadership to your organization with my team. And at the end of that process, you actually we create something new. I'm not guessing at the end of my R&D process, will this be valuable to you? It's very clear from the very beginning that solving this intractable issue, solving this emerging challenge, has high value to you. So from the moment we embark on this mission, I already know this has high value to you. If we can do this successfully, you will pay me well for this because of the impact it can have on your profitability. So we choose high value projects and we go through a very predictable process that will generate creative ideas, and not just generate these creative ideas, but put in place a process where we will actually be able to execute it successfully. And you will get the outcome that you need that has high value to you. And as I said earlier, I win after you win.
I like the you win after I win model.
And that's critical for us to understand. And when our customers see how devoted we are to them winning, it really creates the soil for a very strategic and long-term relationship.
Fabulous. Well, so what are some of the topics that we're going to be looking to cover in the innov8 series that our members can look forward to?
And I think one of the key topics is how to build strategic relationships with your customers in such a way that you have a protective layer around you, and it's going to be very difficult for your competitors to pull those customers away from you. That would be one. Another is how to co-create with customers. What is the process that you can take customers through that will generate their creativity? So a lot of people think, oh, I'm not creative, especially business people might think I'm not creative. But there's a process that you can take people through where they will be amazed at the ideas that they can generate in a very safe, very fun, very productive environment, and then how you can create a discipline around actually executing those ideas. Because everybody can generate ideas, but it's the execution of those ideas where wealth is created. So how you can create wealth with your customers through co-creation, as we were talking about earlier. And then I think the capstone is storytelling. How do we tell stories in such a way that we captivate and trigger the imagination of not only our customers, but also our employees, and get everybody engaged fully in this innovation process? So those are some of the topics that we're going to touch on, and I think it's just a very fresh approach, very impactful approach, especially from a sales and marketing perspective.
Well, thank you so much for your time and sharing, all your knowledge about this area. It's obvious you have so much more to give. If people are interested in hearing more and finding out more about the innov8 series, how can they do that?
Oh, very simply, just go to 1millionactsofinnovation.org and they'll find all the information that they need there. And they're going to love this series. It's going to be quite profound and quite powerful.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you for having me.